What up, boys?
Boys.
Oh my god.
Boys.
Boys.
We're clearly starting with an inside joke, known to only us as of 30 minutes ago. You guys can say something while I'm messing with things.
No.
No, I want
There
to
we
do
go.
this in silence.
Just in silence with us just staring. Mom, we'll just be staring at you.
We're going to communicate
Stare
this
at you.
entire episode
We're going to
through our
communicate
eyes.
telepathically. So it'll just be my mom, most likely today. Maybe Ron will stop by. Katie's not feeling well, so she might be hanging out with us later. And then Jack has his own little social life.
What? People have lives?
I know.
It's weird.
But
We're not the center of it?
no.
You know, we should do Andy Kaufman interpretation of the show, or we just sit here for an hour.
Can we still drink?
Sure.
And then we just randomly like
Sure.
smile at each other, and I push like the drink button. All right. Would you like a
Countdown?
countdown to begin the show?
No. Hey, folks, welcome to another episode of Cosmos with Cosmos. I am special guest Brandon.
Special guest.
Special guest.
Here he is.
Told you.
In
I
the
made
flesh.
it. I made it,
guys.
Back from
guys.
assignment.
Yay.
I'm glad you said special guest, because even though I mentioned it like a minute
You
ago,
already forgot?
I forgot.
Typical Cosmos with Cosmos.
I already forgot things, yeah.
But special guest Brandon, and I'm Mike.
I'm Liz.
And today we're talking about what was going on in astronomy during the first Thanksgiving time period.
Yay!
It's kind of a...
You would think there wouldn't be a lot.
Yeah, we go down the rabbit hole, and it turns out it's like my favorite period of astronomy. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But before that, of course, we've got to talk about our drinks. Liz, what you drinking?
I am drinking this beautiful thing right here that I have resisted mixing for a long time. This is Kepler's Cornucopium.
Nice.
And it is bourbon, butterscotch schnapps, orange juice, some bitters, topped off with some pumpkin porter.
Pumpkin porter.
And for those of you on the podcast, it does look quite fabulous. It has nice dark beer on top, has a pumpkin apple stuff on the bottom, and the ice cubes floating in the middle. It looks glorious.
It really is.
It's
nice.
It's like a sunset on Titan.
Ooh, nice. But now I'm going to just do one of these. I've been waiting a long time.
Armageddon on Titan.
I think it'd be really funny if the porter just went right back to the top. It mixed for like a second. Is it good?
Okay,
Nice.
It's my first time actually trying it. It is.
So
It's good. It was supposed to be made with spiced rum, but Mike accidentally put
Whoopsie-daisy.
bourbon in. But it's actually pretty good.
that is good.
Yeah.
That is good. All
That
right.
butterscotch that hits you right in the back of the throat.
What you got, Mike?
I got Jezediah's Fire Cider.
Yay!
Jezediah
That
fire
sounds
cider.
very
Jezediah's
the time
Fire
period we
Cider.
will be in, which we haven't revealed yet, but we will.
I think we did.
We,
We didn't say the year. Not everybody remembers what year it is.
well, all right.
I didn't until we looked it up. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's when it happened?
Oh yeah, but then I was like, oh shit, that's. I thought it was like 800 years earlier.
Back to the jokes.
What is in mine? Oh, cinnamon whiskey, apple cider, and hard cider.
Hard cider, nice.
And that's the way we roll. What you got, man?
I got Tycho's Cosmic Concoction.
I like that. I like that.
It is an autumn Moscow Mule with stuff in it. Mike, what's in my drink?
El bartender.
It has, well, your typical Moscow Mule stuff in it. It has ginger beer, it has lime juice, and it has vodka. But you add a little hard cider on top.
Delightful.
Oh.
Festive.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite good.
Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Indeed.
So we went with Thanksgiving-themed drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got a list of 4 drinks, and they had to pick one.
And we all chose
And we all chose
differently.
different ones.
We all chose wisely.
Yes. Thank you.
Interestingly enough, the one drink that I thought you guys would pick, you didn't pick.
Uh-huh.
Well,
It was the bourbon drink.
Yeah, it was like the old-fashioned base, but I'm always going with the old-fashioned, so I thought I'd mix it up a little bit this week around.
I'm a sucker for butterscotch, so the
Butterscotch is good.
got me.
You know what I want? I want some butterscotch pudding.
Ooh,
Pudding.
That's my favorite kind of pudding.
I want some of
It's
that.
been a while. Yeah, sounds. Anyway, before we go down to the butterscotch hole, which will be in the Hangover edition,
by the way, we found the recipes online, Mom.
we have a couple of rules for the podcast. If we have puppy barks, take yourself a drink. Any Star Wars reference, take a drink. And, of course, any reference from Tolkien's Lord of the Rings series, you take yourself a drink.
Any of them. Silmarillion.
Yes. But if we do like a boys reference, that's not going to count because no one's going to know that's from.
No, but it is from YouTube.
Yeah,
and
just
it's
Google
beautiful.
orcs with normal voices.
Looks like the meat's back on the menu, boys.
Anyway.
Anyway, so if you want more of our shenanigans, follow us on Twitter at DreamCosmos and, of course, Instagram at Cosmos with Cosmos.
Yeah.
But for now, I think we dive into the world of astronomy during the first Thanksgiving.
First Thanksgiving,
which has its own weird background. We're not really
okay,
going
we're not
to
going to talk about the bullshit that is Thanksgiving.
Don't worry about that.
Just what scientifically was happening in the realm of astronomy during this time, which, by the way, is the first Thanksgiving was in 1621.
1621. And turns out there's a lot of cool stuff going on.
400 years ago, exactly.
Oh, whoa!
Whoa, it's exactly 400 years
Exactly
ago.
400 years
So what's
ago.
that called? Like the centennial, the bicentennial?
Quadratennial.
The 400 centennial.
The 400 centennial.
The 4
folks.
centennial.
Forcentennial.
400 centennials is like what? 40,000 years?
Yeah.
We've been celebrating Thanksgiving a long ass time.
So before we talk about what's going on in that world, we should talk about what was just going on above our heads on that time. So what was the sky like in 1621?
Exactly the same as it is now.
Yay!
Podcast over.
Yay!
Except one very minute little difference. And that is that, so the North Star is about a half a degree from the North celestial pole. Back then, 400 years ago, it was about 2.8 degrees away from it.
Wow.
Because the
That's
Earth
cool.
wobbles.
Which is called precession.
Precession.
Yeah, so
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, I know.
we're a little bit. Our North Star points a little more north than their North Star.
We've gotten norther.
Yeah, we've gotten more norther.
But I guess our magnetic field has drifted as well. So we got that north's more north, but the
The
compass
other
north
one is
less
less north. So
north.
we got a trade-off
Yeah.
of norths happening.
They did have some planets that are up on their first Thanksgiving.
Oh, hey.
Oh, they did?
They did. They had Venus and Mars were visible after sunset.
Venus is visible now after sunset.
Yeah. So we have some things in common with that. Also, Jupiter and Saturn were rising in Gemini, which they kind of are right now as well.
Whoa.
So
I don't know. Does
connected.
it like that? Well, it's exactly 400 years.
I
I think that just means that the witch is coming back.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're reading,
witches are
we're
rising.
reading more
Witches,
into
yeah.
this.
I mean, you gotta burn them witches.
And something that I found kind of interesting is that, all right, so what stars that you can see in the night sky are 400 light years away? So the light that enters our eyes tonight, if we were to go out and look at them, left those stars
That's a good
in
point.
1621.
Oh yeah, what?
Algenib, which is the lower left corner of the Great Square of Pegasus.
Okay.
Yep, and Almach. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
For all the Arabian people over in
Almach.
Almach, which is in Andromeda.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, those are autumn time constellations, so you know.
So you could actually go out there tonight, and as you're looking at those two, think back to a couple of episodes prior and think about the Clash of Titans story because they are prominent in that.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure though that the Pilgrims weren't going, "Hey, Clash of Titans."
No.
woo!"
Oh, that would be a.
They had a story though, so sure.
I mean,
they
because
they could have done it.
The modern Greek constellations that we see now, I think those weren't those first started to be written down around the 1600s, where because you had a revival of
Right, but
all
I
the
think
Greek
the modern
stuff,
ones.
and so you had like the one main one that the Helevicus or whatever.
Yeah,
made.
Helveticus, yeah, but the northern ones.
Oh, I mean northern ones. We
The
don't care about
northern ones are
southern
mainly
ones.
still Greek.
No. I know they're still Greek, but that it was the Europeans around this time. I think it may have been earlier. Maybe I don't know if my time frames are off, but they were the ones that then started mapping them out and putting them down officially. as the official constellations. They made them based off of the Greek ones because Greek had a huge revival during this time in Europe.
Didn't they just look at Ptolemy's work and say, hey, there it is?
No, they actually did and then they made up some of their own based on Greek kind of ones. So they took a compendium and they made them official.
I mean, that sounds really plausible.
Yeah, it's plausible.
I mean, that sounds like that could happen. And then, of course, the mariners going down south, coming up with all those southern constellations.
Yeah.
Telescopium.
And microscopium.
And like a chameleon.
I mean, I don't know why, like, my perception of when the first Thanksgiving happened.
Like 1291.
It doesn't match up when, this is when you had huge exploration, because obviously, people are colonizing America. And so you do have all of that more scientific stuff happening and all these prominent people that actually were around during this time. And I never really made the association between when Thanksgiving was versus
Columbus,
astronomy.
asshole, ran into on the Caribbean islands like 140 years earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long time.
Yeah.
That's probably like back then, judging by some of the things that we saw on YouTube today, that's like probably like 100 generations for those people because they only live like 2 years and then they die.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
But you've made it past 40, so you're good now. You just got to make it. If you make it past 40.
But this isn't 1621.
Is it, Nico?
Thank goodness this is not 1621. We have indoor plumbing that takes stuff away.
That's true.
We have modern medicine. That
you may or may not use.
Yes, okay. We are definitely better off.
Yeah.
My mom has a question. Did the Native Americans contribute any thinking about the skies? Yes. There's a whole world of archaeoastrology that delves into astronomy. For shame. Well, was it astronomy? Technically,
yes and no.
Technically, astronomy was seen as a lesser science to astrology in 1600s.
Yeah, but that was fucking Europeans.
But that's Europeans, yes.
But like the Mayans building the pyramids and stuff, looking at like Venus, and they were able to figure out Venus's stuff before Europeans did. So I think that was true astronomy.
Yes. So, but in terms of like the sort of the contributions to the science of astronomy, which is what we're going to be focusing on here, whereas the Native Americans had a whole, sky chart and
cosmology
and everything like that.
And we actually did entertain telling.
We almost did astronomy of the Native Americans.
I did not feel that.
We're just too white. We're like, what? We need someone representative to join us to talk about their cultural beliefs. And
I didn't feel comfortable. But we had even talked about getting a contact that we knew down in Phoenix.
We just didn't have. We didn't have time.
Yeah, with Tim Terry down there and with the Pima, and it was just too short notice.
Yeah.
So, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But anyway, back to those.
Speaking
gross white guys.
Speaking of some gross white guys,
there
were some special guest, everybody.
Gross white guy number 1.
Number 2. There were some big time gross white guys that were around then.
Boys.
Yeah, I'm talking big people that made big contributions to astronomy and knowledge.
Yeah, some big names were around during this time, which we were like, oh, snap. Why am I censoring myself on the show? Oh, shit. Damn.
All right, let's begin with the first one then. Kepler.
Caps.
Keplers. Cornucopium. I keep wanting to say Copernicum.
So if Kepi Cups was out there during this time, then the Pilgrims, in theory, could have known that the Earth was not the center of the solar system, of the universe.
Yeah. I mean, the Pilgrims in America would be like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, they'd be like,
no. But yeah, Kepler was doing his thing. He was making the laws of planetary motion.
Yeah, and those came out around 1609, but the first two did. First two. So the Kepler, Johannes Kepler.
Or Kepi Keps, as he's known colloquially.
Colloquially.
Why am I trying to say big words?
Kepler was in Prague, but I believe he was originally German.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that's not Johann.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it
So,
could go.
but anyway, I say that because we have a question in chat.
Oh,
What
I didn't even
country
know
is
that
he
question. I
from?
was just like, oh.
Yeah, what country is he from? And I think he's originally from Germany. But moved to Prague to be closer to his buddy Tycho.
Oh, good old Tycho.
Brahe.
Yeah. So, but anyway, in 1619 or so, 1620, he actually. Well, the first two laws say that the planets go around the sun in an ellipse.
In an
ellipse, and the sun is the not in the center of the ellipse, but one of the foci ellipse. Ellipses have two foci, one on each side of the ellipse, and the sun's at one of them.
Nice.
The second law is called the equal area law, and a planet will sweep out equal areas
in equal
time, which won't get into really that. But the third law, which he published in 1619, 1620, basically says that the time in which a planet goes around the sun is proportional to how far away it is from the sun.
And I love that even though these are mathematically proven, the scientific community doesn't always embrace changes immediately. Like, it still takes a long time for people to accept it, to go through and say, okay, this is right.
Go through the rigor.
Yeah.
Gotta have rigor.
Like, you look at Copernicus about almost 100 years before him, and he was able to. Was it mathematically kind of proved?
No,
not mathematically.
No, it just
Kepler
makes
that did
sense.
the math that proved it.
Right. But
he just used some logic in his brain.
Yeah.
And went, hey guys.
Yeah, but Kepler used some math and geometry, but it was really Newton that came around and really proved it mathematically with calculus and that type of thing, or at least how it works. Copernicus thought that angels were pushing the planets around.
Right.
As they go.
Yeah, that's thanks to I already forgot his name. Give me a second. It's not our falafels. No.
Aristotle?
Aristotle. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
My
I didn't
God.
know you were going back to the Greeks.
I forgot Aristotle.
Yeah,
because Aristotle really just set science back centuries with this idea of the heavens need to be these perfect, undying mechanisms to the point where Kepler even was looking for the perfect spheres. Like, he believed everything was perfect circles around perfect circles, and that the stars themselves were eternally unchanging. But then when Tycho Brahe came around, I think he was born like 3 years after Copernicus died, as he saw some things in the sky change that were beyond the realm of the moon. And if they're beyond the realm of the moon, that meant they belonged to the last sphere of the stars. So he found this new star, supernova now, we call it the nova, just new star. And then he found a comet later on as well, and that proved that new things can appear with the stars, not eternal and unchanging. So that was one of the first holes into Aristotle's perfect world.
Sphere.
Yeah, Aristotle's sphere.
Yeah, and the comets actually, somebody finally asked the question is, if everything's on these crystalline spheres, and when a comet comes through, wouldn't it just smash those spheres?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Like,
so that actually
maybe it's like a Wakandan barrier. They can just travel through it with the right permissions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but in 1621, the year that the people with the funny hats landed at Plymouth Rock. Kepler released the second edition of Mysterium, which is a book that explains his cosmological theory, and it's based on the Copernican theory. So the sun is at the center of the universe, and it basically dictates how these solids move around the structure of the universe and reflects God's plan. Kepler was very, very religious.
I mean, they all are, basically.
Yeah. So, and hailing from Germany, he was Lutheran. He was Protestant.
God no.
Ooh,
God no.
Jeez.
Yep.
Those Lutherans believe in whatever Lutherans believed.
99 problems.
Well done. Well
Damn.
done.
Oh,
That actually that
I'm gonna
that
drink to
deserves
that.
a drink.
Yeah, that was well done.
Your degree comes in handy every now and then.
I saw something. Oh, it was on Jeopardy where somebody, I don't know, 30 years ago or something, actually received a copy of those 99 little bullet points that Martin Luther nailed to the church door.
Oh, it's like a question on Jeopardy.
No.
An answer?
Yeah, it was a question on.
okay.
It was a question on Jeopardy. Was what person? This particular person had received something as a gift, and it was Luther's 99 issues with Catholic Church.
Fun.
So,
anyway.
But we also have another big name.
Another big titan of astronomy.
Yes.
Captain of
Galileo.
space.
Galileo.
Galileo.
We were all thinking it.
I just like Galileo Galilei. Like, it sounds like a sci-fi name.
We have names like Frank. That's sci-fi-ish.
Oh,
or like Duncan, Idaho.
All right, well, go Brandon.
Thanks. I just feel motivated for some reason this month.
Yeah, he was around in 1621 on December 3rd, actually. So a little bit after Thanksgiving, he announced to the world that he had perfected his telescope.
Oh, snap.
Nice.
Yeah, and so...
I mean, he's done some cool shit with that telescope.
He had done some cool shit. He had turned it to the sky, and he had found that there are moons that go around Jupiter, which meant things weren't going around the Earth. Big nail in the coffin of geocentric universe.
Take that.
Yeah, and
Catholicism.
Venus goes through phases. Another big fucking nail in that coffin, because the phases could only work if it was going around the sun and not the Earth. Craters on the moon, though interestingly, he was not the first to map craters on the moon.
And not the first to point his telescope up at the sky, as we've learned.
Yeah,
from our
that
special
honor
guest here.
actually goes to Thomas Harriot, and he actually died in 1621. So
he died on the first Thanksgiving.
Yeah, a little bit before the first Thanksgiving, and he made the first drawings of the moon with a telescope in July 1609, which is 3 whole months before Galileo.
Nice.
Um,
I mean, why wouldn't that be the first thing you do with a telescope? Oh, look, I can see things far away. What's that?
I know.
What is that thing above our heads forever?
I like, at that time, throughout the majority of human history, the sky is the most mysterious and, like, place that no one knows a whole lot about. And that would be just like, hey,
what's going on up there? Also, you imagine this couple peak guys who did that, but did it to the sun, and then just couldn't see anything afterwards, and that's why you don't get credit.
Mistake. Well, I think people learn just by daytime
looking at the sun,
that looking at the sun and then magnifying
You're
it
gonna
is
have
probably
a bad
not
time.
going to be a good idea. I think that's the common sense thing, but apparently not even world leaders get that much.
But Thomas Harriot knew better though, so he looked at the moon.
You brought up credit. You mentioned credit, and the reason why Galileo gets credit and Harriot doesn't is because Galileo published and Harriot never published.
Gotta publish. Screenshotter didn't happen.
Yeah, so Harriot never published. It was only much later that we found out that he had made these moon maps.
I love this then, that Thomas, he didn't publish anything. So for those 3 months, he was the only person in the world that knew what the moon looked like. And he just like, I'm good with this. I don't need to share it. I'm happy knowing this myself.
Right.
Yeah.
He was the only
He's
person.
the only one who knew about the craters.
Throughout all of human history.
The one person
who knew about the craters.
And he's like, I'm good. I don't need to share this.
Like,
I'm happy.
How?
Yeah. But not only did he draw maps, these maps were not improved on for decades.
Wow.
So he was doing a really good job in drawing these maps. Now, keep in mind, you have to remember that back then, telescopes weren't clock driven, so they didn't track the sky.
Oh, yeah. They were all manual.
they were all manual. So he would line it up on the moon, he would take a look, he would draw something, but the moon's already moved off a little bit.
You gotta go find it again.
Yeah. And let me tell you, there's a big telescope downstairs. It's hard to find the moon sometimes. So credit to Thomas for doing that. That's impressive.
Yeah. So those were the big names that were Kepler and Galileo. And just for reference, I know we mentioned Newton, and hey, was Newton around then? Newton was not born until 1643. So
well after.
22 years from now is when Newton would be born. But other things happened in 1621. What are those other things? Willibrord.
What?
Willibrord Snellis. Willibrord.
Snellius.
Snellius?
I'm going to go with Snellius.
Yes.
Willibord Snellius.
So who's this guy?
Is this like from Harry Potter?
It really does sound like a Harry Potter name.
Willibord Snellius,
It really is. He formulated Snell's law, which
Oh.
is how
Snellius.
being able to measure refraction.
I've never heard of this before in my entire life.
Yeah.
Snell's law.
I mean, clearly somebody was like, okay, we got to stop calling it Snellius's law. We're just going to shorten it as Snell.
Snell.
That way he
It's
still gets
Snell.
credit. But basically, it you can use it to, when light comes in and hits a denser material, say water, or comes out of say water, it bends, right? And this is the formulation of being able to calculate that bend.
That bend?
Yeah.
Okay, my mom asked earlier, and how do these guys figure this out? How the fuck do you figure that shit
A
out?
lot of trial and error.
I guess a basic understanding of math helps.
Well, understanding math
As, like,
and
starting
and it's not like these guys are just sitting down and like, I have this brilliant idea. No, it's based off hundreds of other people, based off their knowledge
Yeah.
and building and refining
Basically,
it
they
ever so
just read
slightly.
and think a lot, and then
Yeah, but
all's
I'm sure it
revealed.
all started with him looking in water.
and going,
I'm sure,
I wonder.
Well, I mean, because like if there's a pond and there's a fish in it, and you're spear fishing for that fish, you don't throw the spear
Oh, you gotta
right where the
adjust
fish is.
Well, it's also moving, so.
Well, let's just pretend like it's standing still,
okay.
or sitting still in the water.
Swimming still?
Floating.
Yes,
Floating.
floating,
Floating. That's the word. we're
floating
looking for.
still.
What does swimming still mean? Oh, floating. Yeah.
Yes. So you don't throw the spear right where you see the fish. You have to, you throw it maybe like right in front, and you'll hit the fish.
Oh, I always liked just like when you just put your foot in a pool
Oh, yeah.
and like you see how it just
Yeah. So
bends and
you can
changes.
see that refraction, and so this was just the first person to actually just kind of formulate it.
wow.
And get math behind it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that math part
See, my brain goes,
important.
oh, that's cool, and not like, I wonder how that works.
And a lot of time in the past too, they didn't have the math to figure these things out.
Yeah,
It's
people
not
had
that
to make the math up.
not everyone's like new and they can invent calculus, for example. So the math had to be invented to figure this out.
But not for Snell's law.
Not for Snell's law, apparently.
No. It's just straight geometry.
Oh,
Straight
well.
Actually,
geometry.
I got a D in geometry in high school.
It's actually
and I got my
trig,
transcript
so
to prove it.
because it's got angles.
Angles, man. How do they work?
That's magnets.
Magnets, angles, it's all the same. All bunch of quackery.
Your mom, hey, let's figure out this bendy thing. That's pretty much. I think that is the quote
Verbatim.
from Snell.
I like that.
Snell is.
Verbatim.
That's in the history books. That's what.
Hello,
footnotes.
governor. I'm going to figure out this bendy thing. That was, I don't
I
know.
was
went
going
southern?
fishing.
Did I go southern with
Bit
it?
bendy, in it?
Weege.
God damn it. All right, guys.
All right.
Where are we at here?
You're in charge, dude.
I know, you're supposed to be hosting.
Oh,
Mike has all the information.
Let's see. That was the last bullet point.
No, you got this whole
Oh, we're
story
going-
right
we're
here.
going
I'll
that
let
way.
you
yeah,
do it.
the Chinese telescope.
You should definitely do this one because you're excited
No,
about
because
it.
I no.
In 1621, the telescope was introduced to China.
That's right. The
Like,
guy.
I never thought about like another like something being introduced to China. Like China just has always made their own shit
Yeah.
and our shit, but their own shit.
Yeah, the Chinese were amazing at.
They created gunpowder. I mean,
I wasn't going violence. I was just thinking like they were amazing with
thinking
like
fireworks.
naked eye observations
Oh, yeah.
of the universe.
oh
and,
yeah.
and comets. They really tracked comets and.
They also
news-
recorded the Crab Nebula.
Oh yeah, yeah, and
In
so
1054.
Yes,
Hey.
1054.
which was a little bit before the first Thanksgiving.
That's a little bit.
Just a smidgen.
That was around the Battle of Hastings
It's just a
time.
smidge. But anyway, yeah, and so but they did all this without a telescope, and but they got one eventually.
Yeah, thanks to Johann Schreck.
Shrek.
Shrek. Shrek brought the telescope over to China. It was first mentioned in Chinese writing, and then. Sorry, I should have actually read this before. I just started reading things.
It's been there But what I love is like in the notes there's this Manuel Diaz the younger, but then he's got a Chinese name. It's just like
Young Manuel.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce some of these names. I would just kind of feel bad about it. So yeah, they had this telescope over there in China, but unfortunately they didn't really do much with it for scientific purposes at the time, at least that I know of, because they were again great naked eye astronomers already.
Yeah, and they were still actually like they were very heavily geocentric, and there was a bunch of Jesuit missionaries that went over, and the Jesuits were just like, yeah, keep going with that geocentrism.
Yeah.
You guys got it.
Because the Pope didn't like what Galileo said.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Well, the Pope was actually pretty okay with it, but then Galileo kept being a dick about things.
I mean, come on. They're like, hey, you can't be talking about this shit.
No, they were okay with
Galileo
that. They
was
published
like,
things together for a
fine,
while.
I won't. And
Yeah,
it was
but
like
then-
assholes.
But then
and...
Galileo wrote that. Was it? It wasn't a play,
no,
but it was
he wrote like a dialogue between this really smart guy called Galileo and this doofus. Like his name was like literally Doofus or something like that.
Doofus the Third.
And
who was supposed to be the Pope.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the Pope.
And the Pope was making all these illogical arguments, and the smart guy's like, "Oh, you're wrong, actually." So he basically backhanded the Pope.
I don't think
and
that's a dick move because the Pope's been backhanding people for.
It's true, the
Yeah,
Inquisition.
that's
biggest
true.
dick move there is.
Galileo's not burning anyone at stake.
That's true.
That's true.
So yeah, so big names.
I mean, a lot's going on around the time when Americans are like, "You want a blanket?"
Oh, boy.
Oh yeah, no. But you
some
know what?
amazing astronomy is happening.
But what's really cool though is if you look back at here's the view of the universe, and I just made some notes.
Okay.
The view of the universe was in 1621 was the heliocentric view was proven by Galileo in 1609. 1609, 1610. However, I'm sure the Pilgrims did not believe that. whatsoever.
Definitely not the
Not at
Puritan
all.
ones.
No.
I'm sure.
And so there's this massive debate raging between
I love
geocentric
raging
and
debates.
heliocentric, but heliocentric was proven. There were only 6 known planets at the time.
6.
6. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Saturn was the most distant planet in the universe. Of course, now, those were the only 6 planets. Of course, now there's thousands and thousands of planets that we know of.
Not all in our solar system.
Right.
No.
I also want to point out that even though there were just those 6 known planets, Neptune, for example, was still spotted in the sky, but it just moved so incredibly slowly and
That
was
they
so
didn't know
faint.
it was-
just probably another star out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you needed higher resolution telescopes
Oh, yeah.
to be able to then discover Uranus and then what will be Pluto, a future dwarf planet.
Mm-hmm. There are only 5 known moons in the entire universe.
In the entire universe.
The Earth had 1.
That's
and
pretty obvious.
then Jupiter had its 4. And Saturn's moons weren't discovered for
What about Mars's
decades
moons?
later. Oh no, that was 1800s.
1800s? Yeah, that was
Okay.
1800s.
Because they're so tiny.
Oh, I guess that's true. I just figured because they're closer with, but I guess in,
Yeah,
right,
they're
in,
tiny.
in,
Itty
compared
bitty
to
potato
Mars
moons, yeah.
to
Itty bitty.
Okay,
That's
that's
how they're described scientifically. Itty bitty.
Itty bitty potato moons.
Saturn had rings. We knew that Saturn had rings.
It's pretty obvious through
Lobes.
real.
Lobes.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
they
they
look
were-
like ears.
Yeah.
They look like ears sticking out from Saturn.
Yeah.
Liz and I both did the exact same thing
Yeah.
by the way, with our hands. Little tiny ears.
Venus goes through phases. The moon has craters. In the Milky Way, that hazy band of light is composed of unresolved stars.
Ah,
And
which
so-
is, I mean, true and not true at the same time.
Yeah. But yeah. So that was the known
That was the
universe
known universe.
400 years ago.
And I'm curious what the normal person on the street would know of astronomy. Like, would they know?
God.
Would
like
they
one
know?
of those late show segments where Jay Leno would go and ask the people random questions.
Yeah.
And it's
What
like,
is the sun?
everybody's
Where
an
it's the
idiot.
face of God. Okay, that makes sense.
I would not. I don't want to find out because.
I think that
Feels
most
sick.
people would not know there were 4 moons. And
No,
I think
wouldn't-
most
wouldn't
people
know.
would know
Universe.
there or think there were 9 planets, and then if you say 8, then get real mad.
Wait a minute, in 1621 or now?
No, right now.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Pluto. God, yeah. Pluto's still a planet. No, it's not. No, it's not. You might love it, but it's not a planet. So, but anyway.
My mind is slowly changing on that, so that's another episode. I'm just reading a lot of things, and things are kind of making sense. I think my mind's changing. How dare I expand my reading base?
I don't care. Although I think that I like different classifications because that means better organization, and then you can whittle your understanding down better. So I think that just is a step in the evolution of understanding of objects in the solar system. Yeah, but again, that's another episode or The Hangover. We'll see what happens.
Probably another episode. We have to study for that one.
We're going to talk about it now. I agree. Classifications.
I mean, 400 years ago.
Yeah, so the average person on that street 400 years ago, maybe they would hear stuff about the sun being the center of the solar system, for example. Mm-hmm. I can't assume that would be something everyone would at least would have heard of.
I mean, no. Plus, how does this information travel?
Well, there is the printing press.
People getting information versus richer people getting information.
I bet you the poor people were just wanting to, survive.
Yeah, invent indoor plumbing.
While you're throwing your shit out the window, you're just like, hey, did you hear the sun's at the center of the universe, guys?
What's that all about?
And your neighbor just like, yeah, Betty! I was reading it the other day.
In the Pilgrim Press, it was right there, lead story. Your mom goes, poor Pluto feels this.
He's fine, because it's just a ball of ice.
Pluto doesn't care what you think about it.
That's very true.
I'm going to keep going around the sun every 240 years. So Pluto has only gone around the sun once since the first Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, it's coming up in 100 years that will make that, it will have done it twice.
Oh, there's going to be something so cool that happens too that we're going to do to celebrate its second orbit since it's since it's...
Since the Thanksgiving.
Oh, no.
There we go.
No,
yeah,
no. It hasn't even done one orbit.
I mean, I got excited for my future self that would celebrate.
It hasn't even done one orbit.
No,
yeah,
it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a hot second.
Okay, when's the first orbit gonna be?
It's like
1930 plus 240, so 2170.
Damn it, it's going to be so fun. There's going to be such a fun celebration for the first completed orbit since its discovery.
I can tell you that if we're still alive in 2170, we won't give a fuck.
That's fair.
No, we will. We will, because even as vampires, we're going to be excited about astronomy.
Oh, for vampires, yeah.
That's the only way we can live that long.
Space vampires.
Yes.
Wait, no. Terrible. You can't have space vampires.
Oh, there are space vampires.
But if you have space vampires... Wait, guys. If you have,
space vampires.
I have a point to make. If you have space vampires, you're always going to be in the sunlight, so you can't really have space vampires. There's no nighttime in space.
Space is all nighttime.
Oh, it's always daytime.
Oh, you gotta get close to a star, and you gotta be real close to a star. Look at how much daytime Pluto gets.
It still counts.
Not a whole lot.
So what's the threshold then of where a vampire has to be?
I don't know.
Close
We gotta
to the
call
sun?
Anne Rice.
She's
the.
This truly is the hangover
This is
conversation.
definitely a hangover conversation. All right, let's wrap up the main episode and head to the hangover.
Okay.
We got some thoughts
Since that's apparently where we're going.
We got thoughts about things.
400 years ago, nearly to this day, will be to the day on Thursday.
Okay. Just say 400 years.
To the day! No, I have decided Thanksgiving was held on that day in the Gregorian calendar in the year 1621. But the Pilgrims honestly wouldn't have cared about anything that's happening in astronomy. But the world of astronomy was popping in that year with all these happenings with Kepler and
Galileo.
Newton was coming up on soon, and it was a great time in the spirit of exploration.
It was.
Yeah.
Aristotle busting.
Is what?
Aristotle busting.
Definitely Aristotle busting. We did not want to give up Aristotle for like 2,000 years.
I mean, it is Aristotle, but...
Yeah. And it actually held everything back. And then
immensely so.
And then Copernicus, so scared of the church that he had come up with his ideas and released it on his deathbed where the church could do nothing to him.
They're fond
they could tell him he's going to hell.
They're fond of fire, so...
Yeah, and then Kepler comes along and,
thanks to Tycho's math, Tycho's observations, Kepler used the math based off that.
Comes up with how planets move in our solar system, and then Galileo with a big fuck you to the Catholic Church. And then the Catholic Church's like, okay, we're going to inquisition you or whatever, and what the Galileo was like, whatever. It's all you do. I will do house arrest because of what I have said is already out there.
And then there was the Renaissance.
Yep.
Thanks, telescope and math and things and medicine.
And at the same time, people are just throwing shit out their window. They're just
literally
throwing shit.
Literally,
piss and shit.
That's
piss and shit.
where we're at. We're thinking a lot about the cosmos and having all this wild discoveries, yet still we can't take baths.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of shit, it's about time to wrap this podcast up. So, yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. If you're on the YouTube with us, hang out with the hangover.
God damn it.
Hang out with the hangover, guys. Coming up right next.
Weren't we supposed to do this at 3?
Oh, my God, I swear.
Best hits of Cosmos with Cosmos.
Jesus.
Anyway. Yeah.
Here you go. Do you want what's coming up?
Oh, yeah, because we have some future episodes. Like, for example, December 5th, we'll talk about telescopes. Holy shit, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, we're talking telescopes. We're doing an overview of telescopes in preparation of...
the James Webb Space Telescope.
Liz and I are we're just gonna come up with all the topics now because
special guest.
Because special guest never here.
I'll be here for the 5th, probably. But the following Saturday is the James Webb launch, guys.
Yes.
James Webb launch. It will
James
be
Webb
a
pajama party.
Game changer for science and astronomy when it goes up and successfully goes into the ground gene point and unfurls itself and sees into the cosmos. It's going to be glorious.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do a live.
Yeah, I was going to say that's on Saturday. That's on Saturday. It's not going to be the Cosmos episode, but it is. I might have said that because that was the original plan.
It's just going to be a live stream of us in pajamas getting excited about a space launch of a
100%.
telescope.
Which could happen as early as 5 o'clock in the morning for us, or 4 o'clock if you're in Oregon, but could go all the way to like 8 p.m.
Yeah, like
so
8 p.m.
it's gonna be an all-day affair.
I love launch windows so much.
We're basically gonna do our Hobbits meal.
Yeah.
And then will likely be a special guest tuning in from Washington.
Yeah.
Me. And the next day we're going to have a recap of the launch because it will go amazingly well.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
Yes.
Because we're optimistic.
We'll have our normal episode as a recap of that.
And so that's going to wrap up the year for us.
Yeah.
Yep. And then it's on to 2022.
Ooh.
The
It's hard to
distant
believe.
future.
2022.
That is so hard to
Man, it'll be
believe.
401 years after the first Thanksgiving. All right, folks. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
Don't forget to rate us,
like us,
all the things,
on all the things.
Spotify's and stuff, because we like talking to people. More ratings equals more people to talk to. So with that, thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks.
Y'all stay safe.
Stay safe. Stay healthy. For us here in the States, have a great Thanksgiving.
Have a happy and healthy and safe Thanksgiving.
And we'll see some of you in Oregon. Cheers, everybody.
And if you're sticking around with us on YouTube, Mom and possibly Ron, I don't know if you're still hanging out with us, we'll be right back with The Hangover. So sit tight.
I think some Hey folks, so Liz left the room, and she didn't know that I knew how to unmute the microphone. So if anyone's out there, I'm going to explain to you why everybody should be watching the new series on Amazon called The Wheel of Time. So Wheel of Time is a high fantasy series, really in the mold of, you can think of Tolkien, for example, because you have a lot of tropes in there. You have the Chosen One, but of course you don't know who the Chosen One is off the bat. You have magical witches and wizards that control the world, that control... Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta go. You don't have to explain it, you just have to push buttons and tell me which ones to push.
This is exactly what we were talking about.
I unmuted it early too.
This is exactly what we were talking about.
I just wanted to learn.
Look, someone's gotta control shit.
You will not let anybody...
This is not the learning time. I will learn on our time.
No, you never learn. You never learn this.
Ouch.
There's buttons that says title sequence, hangover.
That's all I wanted to know.
Now you know.
But it takes less time for me to press that.
Hey folks, welcome to The Hangover. We don't have a plan.
Never do.
Yeah, we do. What's that question you were asked about?
What people eat in space?
Thanksgiving
Man, Liz is not going to let me segue on my own. But that's fine. Yeah.
Wow.
What Liz
you
just
never
said.
hear. I mean...
Ouch. I'm here in spirits. In the aether, I'm here.
I would like to welcome everybody. This is Cosmos, everybody. They argue. I just sit here.
Oh, I heard that as they are you. and I thought you were going to say, and I am me.
And I am the walrus. Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Hello.
So anyway, yeah, Thanksgiving's coming up. So we thought, what would be the best Thanksgiving food to have in space?
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Barbecue.
How does that work in space?
I don't care.
Because what you want is you want things that aren't crumbly. You don't want to leave lots of crumbs around. It's going to get in all this equipment places. So barbecue stays consistent with the sauce that's all wrapped around it. Okay. So that makes sense.
I'm just wondering, like how you heat it, how it.
They have microwaves.
Oh, they do. I don't know why. I don't know that.
I can even eat barbecue cold.
Absolutely.
You like leftovers
just throw out a half slab of ribs outside for a second, bring it back in, and nice and cold.
That's true.
Or nice and hot.
That might be a little too
or
cold.
nice and hot. One of the two.
That's called flash freezing.
Yeah. Jerky. jerky's nice and self-contained.
Yeah, my mom says it drips though. So you get these little,
little globs.
globs
Yeah.
of barbecue sauce that you gotta like float around and try to catch.
Wait,
in your mouth.
it's not gonna drip. It's not gonna drip because in space it's gonna be like globular cluster on the rib itself. So it's not gonna like suddenly depart unless you move it really fast. It's gonna stay adhesive to the food object.
And you know what? If you do the sauce right, it'll stick.
Damn, it's gonna stick.
I mean, from South Carolina, so you can say that.
And you know vinegar sauce though, you can
That's
just
a little
get it. Well, yeah, but then you can actually take the barbecue out of the sauce, but it's still got it's got the sauce because you cook it in the fucking sauce, everybody.
Oh, those are some
This is in
words.
Texas, everybody. You cook it in the sauce, so that sauce is actually in the meat, along with all the spices and everything. So,
But hold on, we're talking Thanksgiving food.
Barbecue is
Not
Thanksgiving food. If you
What
eat
is
it on Thanksgiving, it's Thanksgiving food.
What
It's
is your
not
point?
Traditional, classic Thanksgiving food.
You know,
Oh, I guess in the South maybe it is. I don't know. I'm speaking from my northern aggression.
I have
frame of
memories
mind.
of having barbecue on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
Okay.
it's
right.
legit food for me.
You know, when you're a kid, you think that everybody on Thanksgiving is eating the exact same thing that you were eating.
One of my favorite Thanksgivings involved tamales, homemade tamales.
See,
and
that's-
it was glorious.
That's something I
Oh,
would have
God.
never experienced.
That was amazing. Thanks,
No.
Richard.
No, nor I.
Ah. I like Ron. You can take the barbecue out of the sauce, but you can't take the sauce out of the barbecue.
No.
You can't. Once it's in the barbecue, it's done for. You can't clean that off.
God,
In
now I'm trying to
Texas,
think
I'm
of
sorry,
mine.
Ron. Texas does not know how to do barbecue.
You know what?
No, wait. The best brisket I've ever had in my life came from Texas. Came from a small church in Austin, Texas. Or it used to be a church, and that's made into
Now
a
it's a
barbecue
hipster
place.
fucking place,
Holy
barbecue
shit,
place.
best
You know,
brisket
the
ever.
problem with Texas barbecue is they don't cook it.
In the
They
sauce.
don't cook the meat in the sauce. And to me, that is just where the rub. I mean, rub is different. Rub's different, but they don't cook it in the sauce, and that's where the meat just picks up the flavor. I mean, don't get me wrong. Texas does meat
I mean, Texas
But
just
kind of
that should
the
be
best in the
that should
world.
be kind of their slogan. Texas does meat.
does meat really well.
And we're getting away from the
We're
central
getting
question
100%
because on the space station, they live in the time zone of Houston, so technically it would be Texas barbecue in space.
Do they live in the times? I guess that makes sense
Yeah.
because they launch
Uh-huh.
from fucking
Well, it's not necessarily they don't launch from
Or
Houston,
they're-
but that's where control is at. Is
Houston.
in
We
Houston.
have a problem.
Yeah. So,
Right.
so technically it would be Texas barbecue. So is it worth it even at that point?
Ron, you're in a rough
Spaghetti
place.
is traditional Thanksgiving.
We're
if,
Italian.
Yeah, if you're in Italy, they celebrate Thanksgiving with spaghetti.
I mean, that makes sense.
They don't celebrate Thanksgiving. in
Nonsense!
Italy.
It's an
But-
American holiday, therefore a world
Well,
holiday.
his mom's side is Italian, so. I mean, I grew up and still am 100% vigilant. I don't know the word. Controlling.
Is
No.
that
A stickler.
ladder?
For-
nope. Controlling. You had it in the middle.
For the Thanksgiving dinner, which my parents can just attest to. And it's the turkey, cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, green bean casserole. Actually, that's more of a new addition.
Oh
a
god, I
little
love
bit.
green bean casserole.
And I prefer, although my dad does make really good cranberry that's not from a can, but I do prefer the Ocean Spray cranberry. Out of the can, it's just the gelatinous glob of. So that would be my favorite.
that when it
space
comes
food.
out, it's still
It's
in the
just
shape
a
of the can.
yes.
Like,
You see the
with-
ridges.
yes.
You see the ridges in it. Oh yeah, just knife slices, big chunks of that, and just so good.
Nice.
And stovetop stuffing.
Oh yeah.
Stovetop.
That's good, yeah. Deviled
Stuffing.
eggs. 100% deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs, as it like my family when we had like a larger family that we would go do holidays with. I remember there being deviled eggs. That was really good.
We talked about this yesterday, but my grandma made the best deviled eggs ever. And then she gave the recipe to my aunt, who now tries to make them, but my aunt cannot cook. So even though it's the exact same recipe, I say, yeah, it tastes just like it. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not good.
And as I also
But
related yesterday.
Can't you get the recipe?
I don't know.
Why don't you
I've
ask for
never
it?
thought about
I've
it.
never thought about
Never
this
thought
before.
about getting the recipe
Because
yourself.
deviled eggs is a lot of work, man.
Oh,
It's not
yeah,
that
but
much.
still.
You boil the eggs, you take the yolks out, you do a little and add things to them, you blend them up, and then you plop them right back
You
into
see,
your
I should
fucking
have asked
eggs.
you this last night
And
because
sprinkle a little
yesterday I
paprika
was
on
like,
top.
Am I being attacked?
A little bit.
no, but yeah,
No.
no. But yesterday I was like, can't you just ask for it? I mean, in my
No,
head,
I never thought
that
I was
was the
asking
question.
for it.
Yeah, I asked my dad for my favorite meal that is cooked, and it's my birthday meal, is corned beef and cabbage. And my dad makes this amazing secret sauce that
Secret
goes
sauce.
with it that I could
Yes.
just eat by itself with a spoon.
And she
And I
does.
generally basically
She
do.
does.
And so I did get the recipe from him, and I tried to make it, and it just wasn't. It wasn't the same, and I was like, I can't do it. I was like, I can't make it myself because it's not the same.
Yeah, but I think you gotta do it more than once.
I should
know?
probably try it more than once because I just did try it the one time. But
Yeah.
anyway, I digress.
Can
We
you cook-
digress.
Can you cook by putting a slab of meat out of the space station in the sunlight and let it cook for a little bit?
You
and
gotta
bring
be
it back
close
in?
to the sun though.
It's pretty damn hot. it gets
How-
toasty.
What's the time? Oh, I guess so in the
It's-
daytime.
Yeah, I
huh?
guess
Well, I
toasty
mean,
in the
yeah, it's
daytime.
like what a 400-degree difference
Yeah.
between
now-
night / shadow and sunlight. Like on the moon, that was what the astronauts had to.
Yeah, they couldn't stay overnight. They just stayed during the days.
Yeah, and so, but you have to, like, if we were to send astronauts to the moon now, and they were to go into the shadow of a rock, the difference is like
200
2,
degrees?
3, 400 degrees.
Wow. I never even thought about then if you're in the sunlight and
Yeah, it's going to be about
End up
200,
in space,
260 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, then. Well, I mean,
It'd be a
still
long,
take a
long
while
cook.
to cook
Yeah.
though, because you really want your.
Yeah.
I mean, you want your oven to probably be around
45
maybe
minutes.
350 or so.
Hey, but
400.
if you time this right, when you
Space
come
Moon.
out of night on ISS, stick your ribs out because what at 250? Oh no!
No, it's gonna take a while.
45
Yeah,
minutes.
and then every
But
45 minutes, you gotta
but
bring
then
it back
also,
in.
How's space gonna affect the taste?
But isn't it like one orbit 90 minutes? So you're in sunlight for 45,
Right.
and so stick it out, hold your hand
That's
out with
gonna
the
take
ribs,
a long
and
time.
bring it
then-
back in.
and then
It's gonna take-
at sunrise and at sunset you bring
And
it
then
back
because
in.
it's not at a constant temperature, being kept at a constant temperature, that meat's gonna get real tough.
Well, that's
Not
why you
be-
just
not be-
put it in some,
microwave?
insulation.
And this is cooking with Cosmos.
space cooking.
Oh, I wish I
How to cook Thanksgiving dinner in
in
space.
space. Using space.
Using space.
But if we go to the moon, we can just like hang out by a rock, and
yeah,
Sure,
we'll
and just
be
throw
in
it on the rock.
and then
And yeah,
we can have a pizza on a rock, rock cooked
Say it.
pizza.
Oh! I
Not
don't know
9
what it is.
seconds. It's not 9
no,
seconds.
it's not.
Maybe a minute. How
But
long?
it's like when they use the wood-fired furnaces for pizza, but it would just
Yes,
be
but we
Moon
could do it
regolith.
on
a moon regolith. Moon
yeah
regolith.
on Regolith Rock, and
Yeah.
so we have that, and
Be a
then
pretty dusty
a little
pizza.
bit moon dust.
yeah,
on
it wouldn't be too good going down your
No.
throat.
Also, my previous question: how is space gonna affect the taste of the meat? Because space, it smells like what
Burnt-ish metal.
burnt metal and shit. So it's probably
Yeah,
gonna
but I
not.
don't think
then.
that's gonna get.
But
Probably gonna
let's be
translate.
real. If there was like a slab of meat and you said it was cooked in space,
I would
you would eat
100%
it. You
try
would at
it. I would
least
take at
try
least
it.
a bite. I mean, come on.
Eat moon dust. Didn't somebody eat moon dust?
Oh
I'm
no!
sure
So
people-
fun story about
oh,
this.
Oh no! What you've done, Mom?
So of course NASA brought back hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of moon rock,
Some was
and
stolen.
yeah, and it was scattered throughout the United States with laboratories. NASA sent
And
us things like
scattered throughout
that,
the world.
and throughout the entire
Just a
world.
dusting.
Dusting. You got a never mind. And so
She
at
said
one
it
point,
and looked immediately at the camera.
at one
know
point,
how I operate.
there was a NASA intern who stole some of the moon rock.
Mm.
A good chunk of it too. That was very valuable. So he stole the thing of moon rock,
Tempting.
and then he crumbled it up, put it on the bed, and then continued to have sex on the bed with scattered moon rocks.
Sex on the moon.
Sex on the moon.
Sex on the
Sex
moon.
on the moon.
I mean,
How did this come about? Eat moon dust, and we talked about dust, and I said fun story.
the pizza being cooked on the moon rock.
Eating
with
it.
regolith, and
Eating
here we
it.
get covered in dust.
So the moral of that story is number one: don't steal moon rocks and have sex on it. But if you do steal moon rocks,
I mean,
that's the one
also,
thing
that
to do.
kind of worth it. I
Yeah.
don't know.
But just do.
chances per lifetime.
A little bit gritty.
But speaking of gritty, on the moon itself, there's no atmosphere, nothing to erode the rock or erode the little sand bits.
Yeah.
So it's really sharp rocks. So you do eat it, it's probably gonna cut you coming down.
You know what? I never thought about the texture. I mean, I always thought. I mean, regolith is more dusty, right? I never think about the texture of the rock and how.
Yeah, you don't.
Because the rock isn't eroded.
Yeah.
Right, no, but
It's just meteorites.
It is micrometeorites.
But it's not
Constantly
like.
bombarded.
But you're not gonna find. Are you gonna find any like smooth rock?
No, nothing smooth.
But it'll be.
Yeah, but it's being pitted. It's being pitted by all these micrometeorites and stuff that are hitting it.
Ron says one time he was allowed to handle a slice of lunar meteorite. Also, oh my god. But I was not allowed to taste it.
Oh, no.
He asked.
No, 100% you tried to lick a
I
moon
would
rock.
want to lick a moon rock.
So bad.
100% would want to lick a moon rock.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the start of any bad like sci-fi horror movie, but I would 100% want to lick one.
So we went down to ASU and with
they have
the
their
Lunar
yeah.
Reconnaissance Orbiter headquarters down there. Can't remember his name.
He loaned me a book that I never
Yeah.
returned.
Well, it's all right. But anyway, they have a moon rock at
Yeah.
ASU. Is
It's like
behind
bulletproof fucking
glass, and all of that.
I want to loop back around to what Ron just said. So you asked, but then you added, next time I won't. Did you get chewed out? How did you get chewed out? What did their response? Because what did they say? I want to know now.
I mean...
Next time I won't. I mean, I still would.
Hey, yeah, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Oh, yeah,
sometimes.
especially
You
if
just-
you have access to a fucking lunar meteorite.
Yeah, what do you just go like that real
And then
quick?
to be like,
Little-
we found DNA on the moon.
That's like when I go to like a history museum and I want to touch everything.
I'm going to lick that.
And you don't want. You can't
I'm going
touch
to
it. You
lick the
want-
original Wright
but
Flyer.
I
I'm
just
going to do it
wanna-
right now. Look out, Smithsonian.
Well, when we
Is that Lincoln's hat? What did that taste like?
when we saw the
Yeah.
shuttle,
Oh.
I wanted to touch the shuttle.
Yeah.
But they have it high enough up where you can't.
can't
But I wanted to touch it.
I mean, yeah, of course you want to touch it because that makes you. Because touch is how we feel connected. So we want to connect with that.
It's like
piece
that
of-
Star Trek, First Contact, and Data and Picard are down there in the silo, and they're just. And Picard is just touching he has his hand up on the missile that would and so it's just
it was Data like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Okay.
Data was.
Okay.
He
Right.
was like, does tactile contact
right.
make you feel connected to it? And Picard's like, yes, it does. And he's talking about all this
Did
kind of
Data put his
stuff.
hand on it?
And then Data puts his hands on there, but then Troy comes in and is like, should I just leave you guys alone?
I remember that. That's right.
It's been so long since we watched it.
So I have a perfect hangover question. So Ron's answer was, they said no, but I'm much more badass these days.
I like it.
So hangover question: what is the coolest thing you have touched or tasted?
Oh, what?
What's the coolest thing you touched?
Oh.
I don't know.
Lucy Lawless.
John Rhys Davies.
Oh.
So,
Not a thing. Neither
no,
a thing.
But that was not.
But that was
they
a
are
highlight.
things.
That was a little highlight of.
I mean, they as we are things, they are things, and so.
I almost touched Buzz Aldrin, but it looked like he would have fallen over and died if I
Died?
did. Oh my God, yeah.
Who was the astronaut we met?
The from Apollo
Story Musgrave?
17
No.
mission at WAC 2013.
Yeah.
2014, WAC
But-
2014. 2013, 2014.
There was
It was
someone
the-
we disagreed with though.
Yeah, he was like climate change denier from Apollo 17.
Oh,
Um,
what wasn't Ed Mitchell? Edgar Mitchell.
Yeah,
That's him.
I was thinking Mitchell, but
Yeah.
yeah, we shook his hand.
Ooh.
Liquid nitrogen,
Liquid
very
nitrogen.
velvety.
Very, it's the coolest thing.
No, my
liquid
mom is saying the
nitrogen.
Stingray
that's true.
is velvety.
Oh, got you. Yeah, they are, aren't
Liquid
they?
nitrogen would be pretty cool.
I've touched a stingray. It's weird.
Yeah,
And the Stingray.
yeah, it's a little
Uh-huh,
slimy.
Now I'm trying to think of just if there's anything. I don't know. Can't touch anything at the Titanic Museum
No,
because that would be the coolest thing if I.
the only thing you can
just an
touch is that
artifact.
ice.
Yeah, but that's just
That's
a
cool.
block of ice they bring in.
Well, yeah, but it's
Yeah, the one in Albuquerque, Ron.
Yeah, Whack in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
what about you?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
He
Or
didn't
you
say.
just asked the
He
question?
just asked.
Yeah,
He
this
didn't
is what I
answer
do. I
yet.
ask the
He didn't
questions,
answer yet.
and you guys go on for a while, and I can slide away without having to answer
what's
things.
the coolest thing?
Coolest thing ever takes is barbecue.
That's a good point. Well, you got shuttle stuff, you got rocket stuff. Touch a lot of cool things.
Now you're just bragging.
Yeah.
Never mind. What's the next question?
That's why I didn't want to ask, because I can brag without going to. Next question. What is the weirdest thing you've licked?
Licked?
Yes. Like, you look at that and think, wonder what that tastes like. I'm going to lick it right fucking now.
What the hell question
I don't
is
know,
that?
man. We were talking about...
No. You know what? You answer that question. That is...
All right.
And we will slide on to the next topic.
Meteorite. 100% meteorite.
But did you lick a meteorite?
Yeah.
Like one of the ones that everybody can touch and put their hands
No, one
on
I
that's
own.
on display. Do you open the casing so you can just taste it?
It's just right there. I have it out. It's hanging out next to my Curiosity robot.
Oh, okay.
So I like it. I don't constantly lick it. I licked it once.
Oh,
Okay.
you know what?
Hold
we
on.
had that little tiny
Hold
piece
on.
of moon rock that you got me. We could open that up and taste it.
Yeah,
But it'll be gone.
we
'cause
won't.
it's- yeah.
Okay, interesting story about that.
Oh,
We're going to come back to the chat.
Ron. Oh, no, Ron! What have you done? Oh, God. Oh, no. It's going to be a ketchup versus mustard-based battle.
Versus
Fight.
vinegar?
Versus vinegar.
Test
'Cause
your
North
might.
Carolina's vinegar, right?
No, South Carolina. Well, okay, low country South Carolina is vinegar.
So what
You
happened
made
in
that
the...
vinegar one. That was really good.
I
All
guess
right,
you two
so
can read the chat.
I got Liz a thing that has a little tiny moon rock in it, and I opened it and it fell. It fell out.
Oh, the one you gave me?
Yeah.
Did he just find a speck that looked like it and put it back in?
Just went outside and grabbed a rock.
I did find it. I did find
Oh,
it,
God.
but it was literally like a 15-minute search.
Why'd you open it?
I don't remember why I opened it,
Curiosity.
but I opened it and it fell out, and I was like, "Oh shit! I have to find this." And there was going to be no vacuuming anywhere remotely near that. I was going to find it, and I did find it.
I know how you felt. Remember when my ring came off when I was doing the dishes at my parents'
Yeah.
house?
Oh, no.
And I like freaked out. And then, but it was right there. I got it. So,
Okay, to your mom's thing. I will not be disappointed because there's all this goodness for Thanksgiving at your house.
Yeah. Nothing to be
Um,
disappointed
I don't know about Oregon barbecue. Well, but
by. Oregon barbecue. That's just grilling.
Uh,
I learned a lesson that I would just say, like, let's go barbecue when it was just putting something on a grill, which that's not barbecue. It's only barbecue if it's cooked in the sauce. If
otherwise,
anything else,
it's sparkling barbecue.
you're just grilling.
You're just grilling.
So
And-
that was my ignorance as someone from California. The difference
But
between grilling and barbecue.
that was just a product of my upbringing. So it's yeah. So,
All right, let's
right.
go on to the North Carolina versus South
Oh,
Carolina.
I had
barbecue
another
battle.
question, but
no,
that's fine.
We'll get there, but we need to address the North Carolina beef.
No, I mean South Carolina. I am my biggest love is the Low Country vinegar based barbecue.
And that's a North Carolina.
I don't know.
What does North Carolina do?
Shit. What is it? I think South Carolina is more ketchup, and I think North Carolina is more mustard.
So what I said originally then still stands. I was
Yeah,
trying.
though it might actually be the reverse
Oh,
of that.
no.
But yeah, I'm thinking. All right, so
I rely on you.
yeah, because I think most of
Not a crock pot one.
South Carolina is going to be ketchup based.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to some of the
Like
real
think of your favorite barbecue place that you would go to that ended up being real racist, but in South Carolina, so you know.
Okay, but the real racist place. All right, so there's a barbecue hut that makes just amazing barbecue, and I had to stop. I had to stop going there when I found out that the proprietor of this. Okay, so mustard and vinegar is in North
Okay,
Carolina.
all right.
But the proprietor was
The proprietor.
the owner. He was around in the 60s, and he chased African Americans out of the store.
Oh, yeah, you can't have that.
And so I cannot go there anymore. But he made just amazing mustard-based barbecue. But the rest is just like kind of a ketchup base. But the low country of South Carolina is, and when I would go see my grandmother, we would go down to the Hemingway barbecue hut, and it was vinegar. And I do not remember this, but my mom remembers this, where I would eat barbecue as like a 4-year-old and down there, and it was so hot that I would eat it and then wipe my tongue with my hand and then eat more and then wipe my tongue with my hand and eat more.
It's adorable. It's adorable. Picture a tiny little knife with a big,
really
like,
curly hair.
Curly hair.
And if you don't believe me, I have a picture on the refrigerator. I didn't put it in.
He did make a vinegar-based barbecue sauce one time, and it was real good.
Yeah, but where my other grandmother lived in Leesville, South Carolina, it was more ketchup-based, and we would go and get the barbecue there, and so you get the barbecue, and if it's so rice and hash. So the hash would go, and you never ask what's in the hash, but it tastes really good. And then cornbread, really good. And if the barbecue hut knows what they're doing, banana pudding.
I would die so fast in the South because I would eat all the things all the time.
And or peach cobbler.
Oh, God.
I just got back.
Banana pudding.
I just got back from New Orleans and
yeah.
fucking love that food.
Anyway.
So each region has their own food specialty: the barbecue, the Cajun, the different types of barbecue. So what's the specialty going to be on Mars? It's going to be like a dry rub.
Oh, we're talking barbecue?
Like in general, what kind of food would be their staple?
I mean, it depends on who first goes to Mars. Really,
that's true.
They're gonna set the standard on what kind of
because
their colonists are gonna. Yeah, probably.
So caviar.
They're gonna pull from whatever their home food base is.
But okay, so after everything's like established and like what's gonna like naturally come up and be, this is fucking amazing. This is the food of Mars, guys.
I don't know.
It's so hard to say. What's the food of Earth? I mean, that's so hard to say. I think.
Well, you can say you can break it down. Like, what's the food of Texas? Barbecue. Boom, right there.
Well, but all right.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
But it depends who's on Mars then.
Well, it's not going to be millions and millions of people. It's going to be
so it's going to be
what's the food of South Carolina? South Carolina is where I grew up. It's more nuanced than that. I mean, it is. Yes, barbecue. Barbecue is big. Barbecue is big in Texas, but you can also make the case that steaks are big in Texas.
Ooh, yeah.
And so
those Longhorns.
And so that's not barbecue. But in South Carolina, it could be. I mean, Southern comfort food, fried chicken. Like fried catfish. I know you had a bad experience with catfish down in Nolens, but catfish. Or some other kind of bass, whatever.
I mean, and then you have, like, the random stuff. Like, I don't know if there's... being from Northern California, I feel like we don't really have, like, a food staple because it's such, like, a mix of different cultures and peoples that are there.
I just wanted somebody to say, like, cereal from Mars. I wasn't expecting a nuanced response here.
This is what's happened.
But that is not how you phrase the question.
Again, like, if I was one of the first colonists to Mars, I would for sure be trying to do some sort of corned beef and cabbage because that's harkens to my childhood and like a staple meal that my family would make.
I would hope.
But then I bring Lucky Charms.
Exactly. And yeah, I would hope that the foods on Mars reflect more of humanity. And so that there isn't one food of Mars and say, hey, this is definitely this Martian cuisine. But it actually is that you're going to find foods from Hunan or foods from, low country South Carolina or Northern California.
The answer is potatoes.
Well,
the answer is potatoes.
The answer is whatever is cheap and easy to to transport to Mars.
And grow on Mars. Potatoes.
Potatoes and asparagus. You could grow asparagus on Mars.
It's going to be weird, that smelling planet.
Oh, God.
All right, I have to ask, Ron, where is this
Waxahachie?
Waxahachie.
I mean, I could look it up on
Oh,
Google
my
Maps.
mom makes a really good point. We're probably not going to bring livestock, so dried protein and veggies
And,
until we can like clone
miracle meats.
livestock on there. Yeah, it'll all be vegan. It'll be vegan probably, actually, most likely.
Send what's your name up there from Great British Bake Off.
Yeah, but that's at first,
Freya.
though. That's at first. Eventually you are going to get the livestock there. I don't think you're going to kill off your livestock
No, you'll
as soon as
be
they
able
get there.
I think you'll grow, but I think you could also, at that point, we'd be able to grow livestock.
Yeah. Yeah, so... But first, we need to get there.
Look, how about, I have an idea. All right, look. Take Jurassic Park. Instead of putting it on Earth, where it's clearly too dangerous, Mars.
I like where your head's at.
Okay.
I like where your head's
And
at.
then Mars just becomes a theme park Jurassic Park planet.
Absolutely. And so, of course, it's going to be open world concept, so
Yes.
no needs for gates or things.
No,
So you
it's
don't
just-
go to Mars. You go to Mars to try to survive, which sounds kind of awesome.
And also like the plot of Westworld.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
But then there'll also be
But
like...
you're not
like-
shooting people?
No, it's not, but not a
Robot
Western.
people?
I was going to say there'll be randomly roving robots with laser beams on their heads. So at one point, a robot and a T-Rex will team up, and the robot will be riding the T-Rex, shooting laser beams out of its head. And this is going to be a robot riding a T-Rex on Mars.
This is
All right.
Brandon's dream.
Oh my god, I want this to happen.
Well...
Get on it, science.
Okay, first of all, we need to get Mars a magnetic field. And I bring this up only because I read an article about it today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
tweet that
it
right
was
fucking
talking
now.
about how, so the core of Mars is
Dead.
dead.
Done.
There's nothing
Dunzo.
you do about
No.
that.
Too cool.
But you could ionize the surface of the moons, and it would create these charged particles that come off, which means you're going to create this electrical current around Mars. And if you have and this electrical current is orbiting around Mars, which means a moving electrical field means a magnetic field. You can make a magnetic field, and that will prevent the sun from stripping off your atmosphere, and then you just need to thicken it up.
But the surface of the moons is finite, so how long is that moon magnetic field going to be able to last?
That's for future generations. It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
so fuck. All right.
Basically,
Look, we made a solution, and then you're gonna have to. You guys figure out how to fix it later on. When it
yeah,
breaks.
which is really how we operate now. We have told you what you need to do with climate change. Future, you guys figure it out. How to actually make it happen.
I feel like that's what all of history is. Like,
Mhm.
look, we figured this shit out. We've done this now.
You can deal with the repercussions.
Here, the
I'm
rest
gonna be
is
dead.
yours.
It doesn't
Right.
matter. I'm only gonna live to 40. It doesn't matter. So,
People! They're eating people. So I just read the tweet message by Ron there.
all right. So Waxahachie is south of Dallas, though.
Okay.
Buildings are gonna be humongous. There can be breathing. Well, they gotta be in a bubble. Well, if we can make an atmosphere, then
You gotta make a
that's
bubble, yeah.
Bubble.
You gotta,
Bubble.
Which have you read? Red
Yeah.
Red
Mars?
Mars, Green Mars, Blue Mars, folks. Let's talk about these bubble cities. So at first, what it's going to be,
no.
it's like this Teflon-like material
Jesus,
enveloping
no.
a
All
giant
right.
dome,
Do you have any more
developing the
questions
city.
that relate to Thanksgiving and the feasts of the holiday?
Yeah,
here in the good old
I have
U.S. of A.
I have a holiday-related question. What holidays do you think they'll observe on Mars? Like we're first
Well,
landing,
it
we're
depends
first landing,
who
be a
goes
federal
there.
holiday. Oh, so they just create their own culture. Would it be like a first landing, a first settlement, federal
Well,
holiday?
Yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah.
the first landing is
Then
going
it'll
to
be
be a
like
holiday.
an Independence Day when Mars eventually gets independence from Earth after a revolutionary
What
Mars
Independence Day
War.
did you watch?
That is a little bit. I don't remember that Independence Day.
Look, what I am saying is that eventually, the colonists
Is this
on
like
Mars
Braveheart?
are
Oh.
going to want their own
What?
Oh,
I
government.
think what she means is Braveheart.
I-
Where you have
And
Mel
then-
Gibson going freedom.
No, I think she's talking about John Boone, the first man, when they
Oh,
slowly create independence on Red Mars. Because you see, in Red Mars,
God
they
damn
have
it.
multiple cultures on this planet, right? And have you read the Red Mars?
So
Because you
basically,
should.
Red Mars, Blue Mars, Green Mars is the future of our Mars colonization.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and some
I actually-
I'm just making sure that's.
I
Okay.
don't. I mean, okay, so you had the first 100.
Well, besides, of course, the technology allows people to live for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
Well, yeah,
that's
yeah.
something
Yeah.
else.
That's
So
amazing.
you had the first 100 people
yeah.
that go there, and so all right. So the book starts with
Okay,
the first.
we're not
100.
gonna go. We're not. No. All right.
No.
How long is it
Oh,
gonna
Jesus
take?
Christ.
How many missions is it going to take before we have a successful mission to Mars
Well, you
where
see-
someone doesn't die?
Well, you see,
You
on
know
Red
what?
Mars, they talk about that.
Wait a minute. Who's in charge of this episode? Brandon.
This is the hangover. There's no one in charge.
No one's
It's
in
lawless.
charge.
It's in lawless
It's
lands.
just chaos. This is just chaos.
But you know where there's not chaos is International Space Station and Mars, because they had to ascribe by certain laws of the countries or the modules they are in.
my
So if we land a
God.
module on Mars and it's like India lands it,
at this
you have to
rate,
follow the laws of
We're all going
India.
to be dead before we get anywhere
Yeah,
near
but
colonizing Mars.
you know that it's not going to be just a single nation that's going to land.
A consortium of them, absolutely.
Yeah, so
Mars is going to be like Antarctica,
But less penguins.
significantly.
and until the
And
corporations come in and they're going, oh, we can mine that rock.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Because you see in Red Mars, they have industries that come in, right? And the corporations start owning the land.
Yeah, we're
and
going to be dead by climate change before those corporations get there. So
That actually is probably not too far.
So they talk about that in Blue Mars,
okay,
actually.
yeah,
I see the
well.
coyote has to go back to Earth to look for his mother, and it's just wrecked by climate change, right?
Next Mars statement. Because we're going to tie it right in.
Oh, it's going to happen. And so they have 2 moons, right? But once in a while, it's going to be a terrorist organization that has the ability to bring the rock towards Mars, right? And just
God.
completely destroy the space elevator.
That space elevator scene was just
Oh, it's legit.
amazing
It is legit.
in the book. It's just absolutely amazing. You should read it.
I mean, I listened to a little bit on Google. Google read us it.
How long did we get? Like 30 minutes?
Oh
don't
my
of,
remember.
goodness.
I think we actually got
Gotta
a
read
pretty
that
good.
again.
I think we got a pretty good while.
Other Brandon, I know you don't listen to this, but you're out there somewhere. You still have my Red Mars book. I want it back.
Oh, call out to former
Yeah.
guest of the show.
Yeah, he'll be on again later. I'll call him out
Okay,
then.
All right.
and he is not the other Brandon. He is the Brandon.
No, he's new Brandon technically. I'm
Oh,
old
he is
Brandon.
new Brandon.
He's
He
new
is
Brandon.
He is
We have the
new and
He is,
maybe
he's
better
new Brandon.
well.
New Brandon. But you're just
Well,
special
yes,
you
guest
see,
Brandon
we
on
have the
occasion.
International Brotherhood of Brandons. He is Brother Brandon. I am Brother
Right.
Brandon.
Oh God, that's crazy to think about.
Anyway, Thanksgiving, 1620.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, right, Thanksgiving. Hey, 400 years ago.
All right, I can't wait for Thanksgiving. Actually,
Ron says, "Oh God, I don't want to read this. We should stop screwing around as a species and build a skyhook."
You know, if Will Chamberlain
God
got off
damn
his
it,
ass
Ron.
and built a skyhook, everything would be much easier.
he's too busy having
Oh,
sex
what's
with
better,
those
a
10,000
skyhook
women.
or a sky crane?
I love sky cranes so much.
Sky cranes are real nice.
You know where else has sky cranes? So
I
in
know.
Red Mars.
God
Just
damn
kidding. There are no sky cranes that I can think of in Red Mars.
What other?
No, I don't think so. Space elevator though.
Yeah. Oh, it was so cool when they came together for the first time. Oh, it was epic. What are we talking about here?
Thanksgiving.
Okay, let's give us.
Thanksgiving.
Let's give us.
Thanksgiving.
Is there another question? I feel like we're coming near the end of this, so let's give
You
one
know
last
what?
good question.
Yeah, I can't remember. There was something we were going off on the main episode that we were like saving for the hangover, and I can't remember
Oh, categories.
what it was.
Categories.
of barbecue. There's. I'm just kidding.
Oh, of objects, of space objects.
No,
Planets?
you think about biology, space objects. You want to talk about classifications, and so I said we should hold
but
off on that.
But we were talking about Pluto.
Oh no, that was a Pluto thing that you were
Oh.
like, that's gonna be a new episode.
Oh, right, so that's fair.
That's what happened there.
Yeah, and you
anyway.
said that you're coming around to Pluto as a planet.
Yeah.
Look. Anyway, I think
There's descent in cosmos. So.
I think Thanksgiving is
Licking rocks.
All right. I think Thanksgiving is
A time for-
arbitrary as a holiday.
Is what?
Arbitrary as a
Oh,
holiday,
yeah.
where in
Well-
essence it's the original thing of it is crap and myth and bullshit.
Like America.
Pretty much the entirety of America itself and just European exploration.
Okay. What did you just say?
I don't know. I
Re-
can't remember.
I want to know where she's going with this. I want to know where she's going with this.
But much like Christmas, the holiday itself is not. God damn it. What?
No, don't read comments.
Continue.
Right. Continue your soliloquy.
The holiday itself has nothing to do with its origins, or.
Well, no. Lincoln made the modern holiday what it was to be. I don't know.
I'm not going with actual historical accuracy right here.
Clearly, am I right?
I'm going with just fucking. Clearly it's just about spending time with people you care about, having good food. Brandon watching our cat.
I was gonna say that's why I'm spending Thanksgiving with Winter Cat.
It's just Winter not being alone for Thanksgiving for the first time ever.
First time.
I can see people that care about
First time.
Oh, we spent Thanksgiving once home, didn't we?
We spend most of our Thanksgiving we have spent most of our Thanksgiving together in California.
Yeah, so Winter
has been alone.
Yeah, for the first time, he's not alone.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear the not part.
Oh.
So.
Not alone. Anyway, so the origins of Thanksgiving are just, be them as they may. Are shrouded in just darkness and horrible just actions of white people, basically.
Okay. Where are you going with this?
But today, we celebrate Thanksgiving to be with friends and family and loved ones and eat, good food. And then this sounds very highly pretentious, so now I'm going to stop now because I was trying to make something.
I was waiting for this to go.
This reminds me of that thing that we watched where this was a long walk down the beach to a cafe that's closed.
This was a long walk.
This isn't going anywhere,
a windy
folks.
beach to a cafe
that
was
is closed.
So it took a while, and it wasn't a pleasant journey as it went, and then the ending
got
was
nowhere.
just nothing happened.
But what she's trying to say is
that's my life, everyone.
Yeah, what she's trying to say is that communal gatherings on Mars will be wonderful, as seen in Green Mars, as a matter of fact.
And a lot of amazing scientific discoveries happened in around the early 1600s.
Well, there were some major advances in.
Major advances.
Or right around then,
astronomy as a science were taking place when astronomy was, as what we watched earlier, was lesser than astrology.
Yeah.
Well, because astrology actually impacted your life, and astronomy was just some bullshit.
Astrology.
Why do we have him on?
I'm the special guest. Treat me with respect.
But you know what? You said astrology earlier in the episode.
That was
and we weren't even tipsy then.
Was that a Freudian slip? Oh, I was pretty tipsy.
Oh, she was really tipsy.
If it was a Freudian slip,
I don't think.
I believe in horoscopes.
Yeah.
That's your horoscope for today.
I don't know that reference.
Guess what we're going to do after the show, folks? We're going to watch some Weird Al Yankovic.
Okay. That's all right. Anyway. All right. Apparently Ron tasted
I think we got to watch Cowboy Bebop.
We can do both.
Apparently Ron tasted the salt flats last summer, which sounds...
Neat story on that.
Real gross, Ron.
Well, I mean, I guess it's just salty.
Yeah, but I mean, people drive their cars on there and walk on it, and there's bird poop. I don't know, like
bird poop.
Birds fly over.
I think it's the worst thing there is the bird poop.
I'm with you on this. I'm just surprised that we have seagulls here in.
I can't get over seagulls in Utah because my seagulls are only found near a beach. I don't think of them as being near a random droughted saltwater lake.
Meanwhile, these birds are like, Utah. Hey, that's salty water. That's salty water. I'm just going to go hang out.
I don't know. You're from Arizona. Do you have an opinion on seagulls? You don't get seagulls in
They're
Arizona.
made up. They don't exist.
Okay.
First of all, we all know that birds aren't real. They were just government machines sent to spy on us.
Okay.
So number one.
Right. What about that one Darwin shot?
Oh, God, that is so... What? And natural selection?
Oh, yes. When the birds just fly.
So for the... Yes.
Planetarium inside joke.
Yeah, there's this amazing scene in this great show called Natural Selection, which is all about Darwin. And you see this bird just gracefully flying with peaceful music. And you're just sucked into it. I mean, you're really brought into this bird. And then all of a sudden, shot out of the sky. Just loud shot in the bird.
And you're just...
Love it.
Every time we played that show, at that scene, I was just like, ah! For like the audience, just like
Yeah.
sorry.
You know what's coming. It's like watching that video of that Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher who hit
the birds.
the
Randy
bird.
Johnson, Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
Hit
I
the
remember seeing a
bird.
clip of that.
Yeah.
He threw the ball and
And the
you
bird
just see,
was just
explodes.
a poof of feathers.
Thank God somebody was there with the camera.
That would have been you when that rock hit our windshield the other day. You would have just went poof.
holy shit, yeah. So we're driving down the road and there's a BAM! And that's exactly what it was
I jumped
like.
while I was driving.
She did.
Oh.
And
Now we have a big crack in the windshield.
yeah, but it would have gone right into
It would
me.
have been
if
right through your heart, actually. I think.
Yeah.
Or your throat.
But what's really cool though is if you feel the inside of the
It
glass,
feels like nothing.
it feels like nothing. And if you feel the outside, I actually removed a very tiny piece of glass, but other than that, it feels pretty smooth.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Ron says Amy Jo and him ran to Wendover one time and hadn't tasted the salt flats yet. And
Is that a thing?
he's still alive.
Well,
Tasting
yeah,
the salt
but
flats?
is that a thing? Is that
Yes.
something that we have to do?
Taste
like-
the salt flats?
I should
You know
probably go to the salt, or like see the lake at some point.
Here's the thing. I think what I'll
Go to
do
Antelope Island one day.
is I will go down to our kitchen, get a little tiny bit of salt, put it on my tongue, and go, hey, salt flats.
Did I say Ron?
No, he's laughing. I'm laughing because the interaction with Karen there.
Oh.
Oh God, most people call me Ron.
Oh.
There it is.
I
There
got
it
it.
is.
I got it. Okay. All right. All right. Clearly, Kepler's cornucopium
It's doing its job.
is doing its job. It's a cornucopia of feelings.
Liquor.
Liquor.
All right, folks. So with that, I think we're gonna wrap up the
Yeah.
Hangover because we got to watch Weird Al and Cowboy Bebop up next. So
Wait, what'd you call it?
Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, okay.
He said it correctly.
Okay, it sounded a little strange.
Well,
But,
I mean,
but my ears,
Brandon
my
has
ears
like a
hear
weird
things.
accent that we can't
Weege.
place. Weege.
Yeah,
Boy.
and you
Oh,
know,
I convinced people all through high school and early college that I was from New Zealand, Australia, or Austria, and they would believe it. They would 100% believe it. So for
Oh.
I would have people on the stream for years believing I'm like from this different country.
When I first met Mike, there was in the back of my mind, me and Lena, I think, talked about this or something, that where there was like some accent that you had that we just couldn't place. Like it was a hint of an accent. And then as soon as we found out you were from South Carolina, we're like, that must be it. Okay, it must be just like
slight
this
drawl
hint
to it,
that
yeah.
would come out every now and then that we couldn't quite.
so when I first started at Dorrance Planetarium, I'm sure I've told you this. When I first started at Dorrance Planetarium, we
You
would
went to
give live
City Hall
shows.
to see if there were any jobs available. And then Ryan contacted you, or they gave you Ryan's contact.
So
Anyway,
I called
I'm sorry. That was too far back. Too far back. Go on.
but yes, and so yeah.
We're gonna be here now
Yes,
20 minutes
Ron.
now.
Well done, Ron.
We'll be here for another 5 minutes.
People would ask me after I gave a live show where I was from. I got tired of saying in South Carolina, and so I would finally ask people where they thought I was from. I would get two answers.
Ooh.
It would either be Oklahoma City, well, Oklahoma,
Oh.
or Boston.
Boston.
Yep.
Boston.
And so I'm like,
What was that?
Boston. I can't.
and I was like, close, South Carolina.
Wow. I was so I used to work for CwC, and I was a cashier, and then I was lead cashier. Brag. Anyway, all before I was 19. Anyway,
Sky's the limit for you, Liz.
So yeah, clearly. And so I'd ask people if they'd like a bag, and sometimes when I say bag, it comes out as bag. I'd be like, "You want a bag?" And so I had one lady ask me if I was from the South, and I was like, no. I was like, no, but I think I had family that was from the South. And they were Virginia, and so like I have relatives that were from Virginia, and so I think like randomly I will get this like weird Southern accent that just like comes through. That I don't know.
Yeah, but no.
But it's not.
It doesn't work that way. I think it's just the way that we pronounce things.
I think it's just I say things weird sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And with
let's wrap it up.
With that, folks, thank you for joining us for this hangover that we talked about a lot of different things.
Oh, it was a hangover.
But the end result is everybody should read the Red Mars, and we will discuss it next episode.
Oh,
and eat barbecue.
And eat barbecue.
And
All
enjoy Thanksgiving, and we'll
Yes.
see some of you in a couple of days.
Mhm.
And stay safe, stay healthy,
Mm-hmm.
get your vaccinations, flu shots.
Boosters are available to everyone now after
are
6
they?
months. Yeah.
After 6 months?
Yeah.
Oh, we need to go back.
Okay.
And get your COVID shots.
See you later, Space Cowboy.
I feel like we should have.
Well, it was almost closely.
All
All right, cheers.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
We'll see ya. It's gonna take me a second to end this.
So as I was talking about in the other room,
no.
Wheel of Time.
Oh, God,
So
no.
not only do you have the space
No,
wizards and
bye.
witches, but you also have the Gleemen.
No, you're done.